Hello, my name is Roger today, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm here to read the Daily Reflections book for October 2nd, 2025. It's called The Acid Test. As we work the first 9 steps, we prepare ourselves for the adventure of a new life. But when we approach step 10, we commence to put our AA way of living to practical use day by day, in fair weather or foul. Then comes the acid test. Can we stay sober, keep in emotional balance, and live to good purpose in all conditions? That's from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book, page 88. I really like this book and I recommend it. I don't recommend this particular book, but another copy of this particular book. Here's the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, and copyright 1952, 1957, and 1981. And this is a 73rd printing of that 1981 edition, made in June 2009, But one caveat about this, you may find some pronouns you're not comfortable with, so if you've got some issue with pronouns, you might find them in that book. Let's get on with the October 2nd reading from the Daily Reflections book called The Acid Test. I just read you that opening snippet quote, if you will, from a different book. Now this is from an AA member. Because this book, what does it say? A book of reflections by AA members. For AA members. Here's a quick test, not the acid test, but a quick test. What's the only requirement for AA membership? A desire to stop drinking. That's it. Then you're a member. Okay, so I know the promises are being fulfilled in my life, but I want to maintain and develop them by the daily application of step 10. I have learned through this step that if I am disturbed, there is something wrong with me. The other person may be wrong too, but I can only deal with my feelings. When I am hurt or upset, I have to continually look for the cause in me, and then I have to admit and correct my mistakes. It isn't easy, but as long as I know I am progressing spiritually, I know that I can mark my effort up as a job well done. I have found that pain is a friend. It lets me know there is something wrong with my emotions, just as a physical pain lets me know there is something wrong with my body. When I take the appropriate action through the 12 steps, the pain gradually goes away. Period. That's the end of the reading. And I've got questions. This thing about, here, let's read the 10th step. I don't think I did yesterday's reading, did I? I was at my AA meeting and the day ran long after that, and I didn't get a chance to make this recording. But the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, down here, step 10, it says, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. I know one thing just right offhand that I'm going to mention. It takes a lot of courage to admit that you're wrong, number one, of the number one thing I'm saying. And also, congratulations for coming upon the realization that you might be wrong. And then taking a look at what you've done to see if it is your fault. And why would anybody do that? Here's one of these questions I have. Why would you want to continually, to use the wording out of here, I have to continually look for the cause in me, and then I have to admit and correct my mistakes. Let me go over this again. I know the promises are being fulfilled in my life, but I want to maintain and develop them by the daily application of step 10, which says, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. I have learned through this step that if I am disturbed, there's something wrong with me. That just strikes me as silly every time I read it. For years I've been reading this, 19, 20 years, something like that. And then it says towards the bottom of the page, pain is my friend. It lets me know that there's something wrong with my emotions, like a physical pain lets me know there's something wrong in my physical body. Those are all my words, loosely paraphrased from the book. When I'm hurt or upset, I have to continually look for the cause in me, and then I have to admit and correct my mistakes. It isn't easy, but as long as I know I am progressing spiritually. That's where my first question, by now the second or third question is how do we know that we're progressing spiritually? I'm going to hazard a guess that because of something you don't have to look any further than this paragraph that I read from today from a member. The promises. Do we need to go read the promises? Maybe I need to go read the promises. In the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, page 83, I think, at the bottom of page 83, the last paragraph on page 83 in the chapter called Into Action, the promises. If we're painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. This is part of this new life, I think. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. This thought brings us to step 10. So people call those the 9th step promises. I don't know how many there are there. But God is going to help us. Because we intuitively We just somehow know in our instincts how to handle something. And then we understand that that's because God is doing for us what we can't do for ourselves. And it says for ourselves. So I'm not doing it for myself. My hands are off. It's how I'm looking at this today. And God is doing it. So that's why this daily inventory, we continue to look at stuff in the day. Like, so imagine this. You're trying to use step 10 in your life. And let's say you continually take this inventory in the morning. Let's say you work from 9 to 5, like a lot of people do. So let's say you get up in the early a.m. You get up at 6, you go to bed at 10 p.m. Let's just imagine somebody in this category. And they begin working somewhere at 9 a.m. and then they finish working at 5 p.m. And they work every day of the week. They work 2 days a week, whatever. I'm saying you're awake from 6 a.m. till 10. So when you wake up in the morning, you do step 10. Where's the thing here? Continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. You wake up in the morning and you think, I feel wonderful, because there's an absence of pain, physically or mentally. You feel grand. You think, I've done nothing wrong yet today, or I've done nothing wrong, and you go about your day at 9 o'clock. You go to work, you're a little bit late, and maybe you're the boss, and somebody comes in late, and you start informing them as best as you can that attendance is critical at this job, and if you do it again, you're going to be fired. But you kind of get a little bit anxious and angry about it, and you end up kind of cursing this employee out, or vice versa. You're the employee, you show up late, you think you have a valid excuse, you're trying to explain that to the boss person, and it doesn't seem to be getting through, and they threaten you with termination of employment. Okay, so whoever you decide to be in that situation, let's say you're the employee and you come in late. You know you're late. You know you've been late before, too many times. And then there's a little bit of an argument happening this day. Now that cheerful feeling you had when you woke up around 6 a.m. and you did a daily inventory and you said, I'm wonderful, I haven't done anything wrong, or there's a lack of pain in my body anywhere. And then this incident happens where you're late, some altercation, some argument, some disagreement, some cross words are spoken, maybe terse words would be better. And then you go through the day and nothing else happens. And you're getting ready to go to bed at 10 p.m. And this is a good time to do this step 10. You take a look at your day and you continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So now at this point in the day, at 6 a.m. you woke up and you were clean as the driven snow. Just white, pure, not a speck of dirt about you anywhere. And then you're a little bit late to work and your day starts to get befouled. And it puts you in a foul mood and you're thinking about this all day. How am I going to get to work on time, or whatever you're thinking? It just goes round and round and round. And then at the end of the day at 10 p.m. you're getting ready to go to bed. This is a good time to do your daily inventory. I'm going to have an amendment to all this, or a caveat also, if I can. 14 minutes it looks like. Okay, so you're doing this inventory. Continue to take a personal inventory. Do a daily inventory, however you want to word it. You just take a look at how you behave during the day, at the close of the day, before you're going to sleep. And you realize, oh wow, first thing today, I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong. There's rules. I broke a rule. It was me that broke the rule, not the other people, not the other guy. It was all on me. And that's wonderful news, because you, if you're sitting there, and going, me, that's somebody you can fix. You can't fix the other people. No matter how many comments you people make, maybe, it's going to affect me if I read them, which I try not to, but, well, to some degree, you're going to have a tough time changing me. Only I can change me. Of course, input from the world is a good way, well, it's one of many ways to obtain data, and then I can look at that and see what I need to do to change to become better, if I deem there's a change necessary. Anyhow, so you look at your actions of the day, you find out it was my fault. I need to fix this. Now, tomorrow you wake up, same time, 6 a.m., and say you do another daily inventory, and you go, today, I feel sluggish, tired, and stuff, and I don't really want to go to work. I wonder why. Oh, because I didn't sleep well, because I was thinking about all that stuff that happened yesterday morning, and I didn't take care of it right then. This would be the caveat I was mentioning, that we continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So in a case like this, let's try it on for size. You're late to work. It's your second strike, 3 strikes, and you earn a day of no pay or something. They dock an entire day's wages because you broke this attendance thing. It's a very strict policy where you work. But it's far better than being terminated outright for being late 3 times in any amount of time. Okay, this is all a scenario I'm building. So you come in late, the boss person says you're late, and you want to protest and argue. So you think the best defense is why you're late. My cat ate my homework, or something like that. My car got a flat tire on the way. And everything that you say probably starts with something else other than you being the problem. You're putting the blame on something else, trying to inform the authority figure that some other outside circumstance caused this to happen to or towards me, and it wasn't my fault. I'm a victim, so please just excuse this and don't mark me down as tardy or late or absent or something, because it wasn't within my control. And you might know deep down inside that's all within your control, because you should be making allowances for things like this. So you give yourself enough time for some unforeseen circumstance to occur within reason. I don't know what reason, and how much time and all that kind of thing, but this is just an example I'm trying to build here. Let me hold up this book again. 19 minutes. You come in a little bit late. The boss person says you're late, and you want to blame something else, but you don't. Instead, you say, yes, sir, I am late, and it is my fault. And I am sorry. I could give you 100 reasons why I'm late. I could give you 3 valid reasons why I'm late. And I understand it's not going to cut any ice with you. I am going to do my best from now on to not be late. Maybe ever again. That's kind of not a good promise. Kind of not a good. I like English. maybe I'm going to pledge to you, sir, I will not be late for the rest of the week. Can we start with that? I don't know how you can bargain with your employer. Maybe this person is a bargainer. I don't know. But there's a way to work around these things. If you promptly admit that you're wrong to something that you caused to happen, there's just going to be a lot less friction all around the situation, I believe. And I've experienced this a lot in my life. That's also why I said congratulations on becoming aware that you yourself could possibly be wrong, and then looking for a way to correct that immediately. Sometimes that isn't good. Sometimes that won't be easy. Sometimes it'll be extremely difficult, and other times it might actually be dangerous because of the friction that was caused by your wrongness, and this other person, say, is wanting to knock your block off, and you start trying to, I don't have time to unpackage all that. Where are we at? 21 minutes probably. Yeah, I'm just going to have to leave it at that today, and we'll move on to the next thing tomorrow. But the good thing about this is all this month, this book is going to be talking about 10th step stuff. And we'll all have a better understanding, I hope, by the end of the month. So thank you for coming here. Goodbye.